Hello everyone, this is RC053, and I'm bringing you some gameplay using my Netherlands General deck. Now, this is a very interesting game, but we had some issues at the beginning, which caused our teammate KSA to drop out, which was not good. So I ended up taking the middle using my General Netherlands deck. Pact provided some good air support there, which really saved me a bit, you know, in case they brought in some... Oh, I don't know, in case they brought in their Soviet helicopters or the others. Now, let's go ahead and let's just see what we're bringing in here. So, as we can see, Pact has already jumped quite ahead with his Super Cobras and DAPs, which will, are really going to be important. VCP going in. Meanwhile, I've got my UH-14s. I'm going to land one of these groups over here using the KCTs. I'm going to deploy one squad in there. I'm going to deploy the rest of my units into this position. Now, they went ahead and tried to preemptively use these grads, but they're just not very effective. Try to stun my forces, but as you can see, I'm just oofing them a bit, and I'm not running into many issues. Here we can see he's got some BTRs coming in, and my Mariniers are coming in. They're going to be they're just going to try to get into the building is the first goal. Just engage whatever they can. They take Spetsnaz managed to take a lot of hits from the explosions coming from whatever it's called, the transport. Yeah, so they're panicked and stunned, and my Mariniers are not very worried at all. So, you know, they start by wiping the Spetsnaz out. It's a pretty sweet start to enemy. Meanwhile, we're engaging some of these BB-90s. Bombing run goes in. The Mariniers are continuing to engage. I'm trying to get them to engage with their AP-4 though, but they're really just focusing on it. These guys managed to get a lot of kills because I was careless right here, and as you can see, all my forces are going in, regardless of whether they defeat or not. I was hoping to deploy them over there, but I hadn't learned my command from them. So I just heard everything over here, and I was managing my infantry so much that he just got the easy kills on a lot of my units. On a lot of them, with my cheetahs. At that point, I'm trying to retreat these Mariniers, but he's trying to make sure that that doesn't happen. But by this time, I made some modifications to this deck, and so one of them was I brought in the base core Mariniers as well. And so this gives me a lot more units that I can deploy. And I just also wanted to take them out for spin, and holy crap, they do pretty well. Yeah, as you can see here, the Mariniers are just giving them constantly fire on the enemy. The natives are doing the same thing for this plan, even though they're just still there. As you can see, even though they're panicked, they're still getting that 60% accuracy on the enemy, so that's pretty good. They were under constant artillery fire from the enemies. They started out with a ton of artillery. They started out with 3 Danas, or Donnas, and 2 Grads. So, yeah, there was a lot of artillery in this game. And that's what, not to say most of the game was, but it's what a lot of the game was about getting artillery targets and engaging them and designating them and all that. But it was also filled with some intense action around this town, which consequently put me in the middle. So if I'm sending out my, these logistics trucks, I'm going to do some recon by, do some force recon, so I'm going to shooting back at me. And just to see what he has, let's just see. Nothing. I mean, if I had some tanks here, I could have potentially pushed through and engaged a ton of stuff. The issue, of course, is that he does have some Metados over here, and some Wilks, but they're just sitting out in the open, which is not a good call to make. And Scott over here, definitely agree with this, but, I'd put it in the forest here, or in, kind of in some of these trees here, because I believe this tree bunch counts as cover. some cubs over here, you know, that's okay. The thing I find interesting is, oh, Skimmer was probably the one who was doing the helicopter run. Wait, where is Skimmer's forces? Is this all he has, or a couple of TADVs, these cubs, and all that? Interesting. Another huge rocket artillery barrage coming in, but the issue is that he's using the Grads. The Grads are terrible rocket artillery. Don't use the Grads. Whatever you do, don't. They are the least effective of basically any rocket artillery. And deploying them like that just isn't effective in the slightest. I would not take Grads if I were in this position. I mean, they can work stun, but they're never gonna kill anything. Like, if they killed the reservists here, they'll be lucky. At this point, I kind of was like, hey, maybe they don't have a lot, so I was gonna try to push, and I was gonna try to rush. Now, I should have gone over here and tried to have taken this position, and I would have been likely very successful, but instead I was trying to take this area. But if I could have taken this town, I would have been a lot more successful. Anyways, he turns right into the Meridas, which start engaging, so at this point I'm like, run, Mariners, run! I'm gonna try to get, or Marineers, run, Marineers, run! And gonna try to get them into this tree line where I can use them as kind of makeshift spotters, is what I consider them. Now, I actually thought the tank fire was coming from here. I could only see just a bit of it. I didn't have any good recon on the side. Now, looking at just what I can see a ton of stuff. And then, I later made a mistake in chat. And it was one of those dumb mistakes that happened to everyone, but it happened. And I'm like, okay guys, I have makeshift recon medal, which got said in all chat instead of ally chat, even though I had selected ally chat. Which bothers me that happened. And so these guys, bit of a communications error. I'm turning off their weapons so they don't blow anything up, but, you know, this is their recon. And we can just engage with artillery. Speaking of which, the first of my M109A5s are coming in. Now, if you guys don't know, these are the Paladins. These are just the exact same thing as the Paladin. Nothing special there. Just a slightly different model. So, yep, he's just sitting in the middle of the road. And so, yeah, I'm going to be definitely micromanaging some of these M109A5s to take out very important targets. I can manage to kill. Skrejat over there. Yeah, a lot of just infantry in here strength. Also makes me think this guy was I don't know what deck he's using. Very interesting. He may be a general Polish deck. That's what I'm leaning towards right now, especially considering he has the Wilk. Another interesting thing is that Skimmer has totally surrendered this area, which, wow. I mean, we can't do a lot with it right now, considering we have, you know, a concourse in, you know, these areas, you know, giving good overwatch, and he's got ATGMs on the TADPVs, but still, that is significant. I think this guy's using a Red 4 deck of some variety. Harrier's going in, kills off his AA. Yep. So yeah, tell him rather plainly to get this guy out of here. Because, yeah, he was taking some artillery fire. Meanwhile, I'm dropping some artillery on this Tunguska M, which lucks out at the last second, and had he not moved back, I'm certain he would have been killed. Absolutely certain he would have. Especially if this last shot had hit, so you know, all that. Now, as of the new patch, you can take 2 F-15C Eagles at Rookie. Or Recruit. This dramatically changes the air war. So I think we're going to see a lot more of the Eagles and and things like it. Instead of these, like the MiG-29s. Because before, I told people, you know, hey, take the F-16 Block 52, because, you know, you get 2 of them per card instead of just 1 Elite Eagle. And so, you know, if you lose it, you're out of luck. That's what I used to say. But now, I'm really going to need to try this out, because having dual Eagles could be really impressive. A lot of artillery going in. Now, just to compare the Dana to what I have, it has less ground range and much higher dispersion, so it's not nearly as good as my M109A5 is. So yeah, I mean, I very much so like the M109A5s. Very high range, very tight dispersion, and good rate of fire. Let's see, what's the rate of fire on the Dana? Rate of fire is 5 rounds a minute, so we're looking at the exact same stats for the most part. Except that the M109 it cannot use its main gun in a direct fire role, it shouldn't have to. But I can live with that. Doing a bit of recon over here with his DRU. But, you know, basically we have all our guys focusing on this side. Now, Skimmer, if I were in Skimmer's position, I know it's likely he's going to have ATGMs along this position. It's very likely. It would also, for me, it would be a safe bet that he have some tanks and other units in here. You know, I would have definitely parked some Recce or SBS or something in there. So I would have put my T-80BVs in there. He also doesn't have any recon to speak of whatsoever. No recon at all, which is not good. I don't remember what was here. Oh, I remember what was here. There was a Niwa battery. And yeah, they got pretty wrecked by the artillery. Totally knocked them out. An RM-70 here. Oh, what the heck? Oh my gosh. Oh. Okay, time for a bit of a lesson here, people. Do not deploy this unit. This one sucks. It's no Smirch. It is no Smirch. And yeah, basically everything escapes with just a little tiny bit of damage and everything's fine. Saria manages to make it out, though. Holy crap, does he have 2 cards at Dana's? What the heck? Wow. They were definitely playing the support game. You know, but the issue, in my opinion, is that they don't have as much recon in the slightest. You know, they can see this little helicopter hovering over here. They can see my intentionally moving M113. And everybody in our team, you know, spotted that happening. You can't spot this Bradley, but that's only because it's out in the open. If you were to move that, you know. And then we also have our UH-14, which is just kind of hovering over here. So, you know, not really all that much you can do. At this point, I decide to seek vengeance for, yeah, at this point, vengeance for my, Corps Mariniers base, who, you know, were killed by this guy. He manages to limp away, though. So yeah, so I also start engaging this position. Just with my M109-5. Ooh, man, that blows hit. And so yeah, that's kind of the name of the game here. Everyone's just kind of toeing the line with their superiority fighters. I'd definitely say Red 4 has the most artillery. I mean, that's pretty painfully obvious. Oh, no, that's another player. He's got a quad stack of Danas? I don't know why you'd do this, honestly. I don't know. I don't know why you need this much artillery. Because if we look at Clifton here... Okay, so let's assume for a moment. Where's Clifton's forces? Where are Clifton's forces? Here's a game. Find them. I think Clifton... It may seem odd, but he might be a Polish support deck, maybe. Maybe. So let's see here. He's got the Polonias, he's got the Danas, he's got the RM70, and he's got the Grads. So that's like 5, you know, of those pieces right there. And I think it's a safe bet to say that the Niwas are his as well. So we're probably looking at a support deck. Of course, in doing so, he's not being all that beneficial to his team. I put down 2 dead markers because I had killed off the Sopol and the Recon BMP. So yeah, that's really what you know, we were doing, is we were just engaging any targets of opportunity. I mean, we had anything that we needed in terms of that. Pact had his ATA CMS, I had my M109s, and that just made for an extremely powerful duo because he could use the ATA CMS to engage any heavily armored target. Meanwhile, I could use my M109s to just kill anything else, or just to stun it, or do damage to it. Of course, this isn't when the game picked up. This is just the middle section of the game, and they really didn't want to do anything to us. Excuse me there. Anyways. He's got the Danos. Kind of pretty spread out, but still very, you know, I mean, I would definitely use the spread command, but I wouldn't even do that. So I was saying I was going to engage it, but he moved the BMD3s away. Here we can see he's probably readying up an attack. F-15s with their AMRAAMs going in. Yeah, just manages to make it out. These AMXPRIs aren't doing that much damage, but you know, apparently they are enough that these 5-point transports, they're like, yeah, we gotta kill these. So he uses the BMD3s again to try to kill them. And these were some unlucky Hawks. That's all I have to say about them. Did he even spot them? Yeah, he could see them. Not surprised, it makes sense, but you know. Holy crap, is this a lot of Topaz. Probably with just some lineup and training. I think that lends to the credibility of this being a support deck. Support. Support. Yeah, only motorized door support, so I'm thinking he's a support deck. really don't think support decks are all that useful. I think there are people who can play them well, and definitely do a good job, certainly. But there's a good deal of people who just, you know, just spam RD like this. And it's just not all that useful. I mean, he can spam all the artillery he wants, but at the end of the day, he's not accomplishing much for his team. I mean, he's got the second highest score, but that's not a lot. Meanwhile, I'm also using artillery. So, you know, it's not that I'm all totally immune to what I'm saying, but at the same time, I'm using them in a targeted, precise role, not at just hit the town over there, because there's probably something. This is a good position to strike. It's a pretty safe bet something will be there, and he was. Sadly, the 2A4 couldn't kill this guy. Let's see, what are its stats? 18, front armor, yeah, that's a pretty tough cookie, so yeah. Patriot back here, though, I mean, we really had the high-end equipment, and we had a lot of it, considering that KSA was disconnected from the game. So yeah, they just were not in a good spot. And I mean, yeah, you can put artillery on this position, but it's not really, nothing he's doing is really gaining him all that much, or that the enemy team is doing. I mean, they can use all the danas in the world, and all they're going to accomplish is going to be training farms. Which I will say he has 3 of. He's got 2. Huh. They have, how many pods? 1, 2, 3. Don't tell me they have 6 forward operating bases. Wow, they had a lot of forward operating bases. I mean, these guys were in it for the long haul. It came down to it. And that's when, holy crap, the air spam is pretty real. Yeah, they managed to make it out though. Let's speed this up though, because we're not really seeing a lot of action. At least not yet. Wow, this is a lot of stuff just here. Now, at this point, I saw some of these BMD3s, and it's like, oh, he's using these turret force, and not using their APMs. So yeah, I'll just knock him out. By the time I decided to engage, oh boy, I want to see what happened, because I did a lot of damage. I'm not quite sure how. Yeah, this is from it. I've already. I mean, it's being somewhat effective, but they're just able to retreat it. You know, we're just able to retreat in time. Everything's gonna be okay. Meanwhile, I'm bringing in an AH-64 tank destroyer variant. I'm just gonna use this, you know, in case the enemy brings in, you know, a massive, you know, group of tanks or anything. Now, at this point, I started blasting in this position, and everything started to die. I wanted to see what we're killing here. I mean, this is the effectiveness of right here. This is all the effectiveness of a couple of Hazaran, I think, and the KCT. That's this huge effectiveness of them. And the Recce are dead. Just look at the artillery that just came in. Devastates his forces. So only a fraction of the forces are coming in, and they're extremely wounded. These guys all shaken, panicked, you know, just This is not how you do a rush. You really gotta build this up in secret. And if you get spotted, it's all over. And especially make sure that you have everything on standby and everything's in place before you launch an offensive like this. Because he didn't do that. And as a result, I have bombers coming in, the Eagles are providing overwatch and air support. And his artillery, which he thought he was so clever with, yeah, that's not going to go too good for him. Meanwhile, bombers are going in, he's bombing basically everything here. To the point where we wiped that out. Before they even get to the building. Furthermore, these are blocking up the road at this point, and that's an actual concern that you should have. So the road is getting blocked up. Just telling me we're going to do a suicide run, with the F-117 just so we can kill off more of this stuff. And this was a huge issue at this point. Yes. Tons of damage. However, he's doing an effective job with these ZSU-57s. Anti-ADVs and all of the other stuff back here. However, they're getting engaged, of course, by my my HE artillery and everything else on top. Yeah, I didn't see that message. I wasn't even focusing on it. Honestly, I wasn't. I was all focused over here. Yeah, he's charging these Pikota Z-Mechs into their position. Also, I brought in the AA-64 escorts. So I had a lot of stuff here. And his forces were kind of in a bad. So, yep, bombing again. This position. Bombing that position, but not doing much. A-64 just picking off targets at leisure. Holy crap, I mean, look at all the points that they threw into this push. And what does it get them is the question. I mean, say you take this town. What does it get you? Is what you always have to think in a war game. What advantage does this give me? Is there a reason why I even need to take this town? I mean, yeah, it's in the middle. You know? I mean, they may be in the middle. But it's not even... what it gets you is it gets you a couple of extra points. It gives your team one extra point of income. But the number of forces and how he's throwing them into it, it's not worth it. It's just flat out not worth it. And while the Apaches are going in, they're trying to get them out of there though, so that Strelza. Waste. Tank Destroyer killing off more high-end tanks. Even more of them. However, my forces are beginning to get, killed off. Slowly but surely, he's going to, wearing down my position here. And yeah, he's really doing a good job of that. But he didn't have enough anti-aircraft, and so that's what's happening here. Is this tank destroyer is just able to, or this Apache is just able to take anything he wants to kill. He's able to. And we're going to see another issue here. Remember all these transports? And speed here 80 plus just becomes even less effective because of that. And And they're losing the air war, they're losing the ground war. At this point, not to say it's time to give up, but you gotta find a new strategy. Find a weakness. This isn't a very attackable position. This could be. You got some tanks, but you don't see a lot of heavier tanks. But still. I mean, yeah, this just isn't good. Meanwhile, Pack thankfully is trying to rush some Rangers to my position, but they're getting artillery, fire drops on them, they're getting MI-24, are just suppressing them. They're deciding to use my tank support, destroy to try to support him. And yeah, so the tank destroyer manages to kill off basic, a bunch of his forces there. So. Using the tank destroyer further, because I know I'm, total superiority here. And so long as I stay away from the ZSU 57, I'm totally fine. And yeah, just wiping out more forces than needed. At this point, yeah, you're not going to be doing much damage. So we got more Corps Mariniers coming in. They're taking some artillery fire though, and that's what's really doing a lot of damage. For when it comes to the artillery war, killed that off with some more of the M109s. It was just, yeah. And while RPG, he's like, well, maybe we can kill this. That would probably come in handy. Kill that stuff off, so, we're doing that as well. Mariniers are engaging the Sapperies. And I've got some more of the base Mariniers coming in. And so those guys are going to provide a lot of much-needed support to these guys. They're stunned, they're panicked because, yeah, napalm will do this. But they fight on anyways, and they're still extremely effective at doing so because they are special forces units. And they're, wow, yeah, they're just devastating. At this point, they're like, yeah, probably a good idea to bring in a Tunguska. So he wastes a couple of train points that totally knocks it out of the park, they're dead. There's no doubt about that. Meanwhile, I'm bringing in some more reservists, provides a bit of mass units. And yeah, that's what I'm doing. Meanwhile, F-104G goes in. Trying to get them out of there, but I needed that thing dead because it was really doing a number on my guys, but they don't make it out. At that point, it was more, this was just so strategically important that I had to go and I was willing to sacrifice it. They had what I had. And, yep, artillery once again goes in, pulls off his Tunguska, sitting out here in the open. Raven goes in, see what else it can see. Takes a bit of fire though, probably from the Grums. Or Grum missile. Yeah, these building blocks are just entirely covered. Naders managed to kill. He's got a lot of infrared anti-helicopter AA, but one of the biggest issues is he doesn't have a lot of anti-plane AA. Which is definitely an issue. Yeah, only 35% chance to hit, but oh man, manages to get, did he kill it? Yeah, he killed it. Holy crap. That was lucky. But we have more where that came from. So he's got some MiG-23s. Believe it or not, I've managed to kill some remarkable units with MiG-23s. even killed the Eurofighter, but I've even killed a Eurofighter with MiG-23s, but that's a replay for another day. Another day. Anyways, oh man, RPG has a tri-group of AS-90s. Extremely powerful artillery pieces. That's all I have to say. Looking at the dispersion, they're the exact same. Slower rate of fire, but faster, and, yeah, I mean, these are extremely powerful artillery pieces. Extremely powerful. He's just trying to knock out some of their forward operating bases to try to stop some of the artillery spam. But yeah, at this point we couldn't really see much else, so... And that's when the game ends. So looking at the final scores and the way everything kind of worked out, Pact got 2,360. I got 3,145, and RPG barely made positive, but made positive with 1,135 points. And KSA dropped out of the match because of connection issues. Anyways, yeah, that really should give you an idea on the importance of artillery and reconnaissance, as well as just giving you a chance to see the Netherlands in action. So, if you liked the video, please like and subscribe for more of my content. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any of my videos. Anyways, this is RCCO538 signing off. Hope you have a good day.